Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday and it's a little chilly today. You can see Huggy Bear, she's all snuggled down. If you have leftover, um, your leftover cuddle, oh my gosh, it is so super easy and nice and soft and fluffy to make a little colored cover. Isn't it, Huggy Bear? Yeah, she's happy with this one. She's happy. She likes to snuggle down and she feels like being underneath of a blanket. So, you gonna tell everybody hello? Not really. She would much rather be snuggled. Okay. So, how is everybody today and what are we working on? Oh my gosh. Lots of fun and exciting stuff going on. And what I thought I would share with you today is quilt labels. Let's talk quilt labels. Hello, Jamie. You know, authors sign their books. We sign letters and we sign checks and all kinds of other things, and artwork is signed. So, don't you think that you should sign your quilts? Really, all of your projects, but your quilts, and make a quilt label. I mean, I'm as guilty as anyone else about not making my quilt labels. But I just thought I would share with you. Now, you can obviously, if have you don't have an embroidery machine, you can use um, fabric markers. You can draw a label. You can cut one out. You can, sign. And it's just a good idea to put the information on the back of the quilt, the year that you made it, maybe who it was for, or give it a name, put your name. So, just as a little example, I thought I would share with you today. And so, you might want to grab a pen and paper to take notes because I've got some information for you. I don't have a pattern. When I do this, I give you the information and make you write it down. Or you can come back and watch it again later because it'll be on. I'll upload it to YouTube. But this was one from our One Sweet Spring. If you missed this event this past weekend, everybody had a really good time. We did it as our first retreat, virtual retreat, everyone in their own home working on it. What's really nice about this is on the other side of the letters is the word Easter. So you flip it around and you've got Easter at the top and you've got spring. So I just thought I would share with you after you're done quilting, put your label on. Some people actually just go ahead and embroider it in the fabric on the back. You can do it that way, but I just thought I would share this with you. It's just a quick, easy way. Anybody with any embroidery machine can make a quilt label. Okay, you've got letters, you've got, the stuff in there. So what I would suggest is the first thing that you need is water soluble stabilizer. That makes it easy, makes it easier. Because you have to, obviously either hoop your whole piece of fabric if you're, if you want to, that makes it easy. You just hoop your fabric. Or if you're going to kind of float it on top like we do a lot of times, go ahead and hoop your water-soluble stabilizer. Then you would do your tack down and your placement, and tack that down and stitch it out. And before you're ready to do the final stitch, you can trim your fabric. So let's see. This is one that I had started because I started it in class. This is not on water soluble, so it wouldn't be what I'd recommend. You could do it this way and then finish off your stitching and then fold under the extra to finish off the edge. So that's certainly one way you could do it. And this would work very well if you have a machine, you don't have an embroidery machine, and you want to make a label. You can serge around the edges. You can do raw edge. Oh goodness, use pinking shears, so you can finish it off with pinking shears. It doesn't have to be really, crazy and elaborate, but it can be. But I don't want you to think, oh, I can't put a label on because I don't know how to do it, all that kind of stuff. So one thing that I'll show you the difference between these two, because we had talked about it, is the size of thread. This has just my standard 40 weight thread, which worked out just fine with that. And this one had the 60 weight thread. See, I made a little note on there. But labels don't have to be huge. But I just thought I would just kind of show you quick, and then you'll have the information. You can certainly reuse it. So let's switch over to, there we go, to the machine. This is the label, and of course, this was from the event. So I put Kimberbell One Sweet Spring. That was the event. The date, January 2023, and then just my, Esmosy. You can, if you have your IQ or My Design Center, you can do one with a signature. I don't know if I have that one in here to show you. Let me see. I did. Oh, here it is. Here's another one that I made, just to give you an idea. I wrote it out. This quilt is made with love in 2022, Nana. So you can make your own and write it out, scan it in, and turn it into stitches if you have IQ and My Design Center in your machine. If you don't, you can do something similar to this with software. But today I just want to show you just an easy way to make a label. All of your machines, I know, everyone, if you have a Baby Lock or Brother. Now, I don't know about other brands, but I do know Baby Lock and Brother, all the way down from the smallest 4x4 hoop machine, which was, oh gosh, even way back when Brother had the little Pooh machine, or the PE 400s, and Sophia, which was Baby Lock, all of those. They all have this little shapes. There's shapes built in there. So when you go to your shapes, now you have a bunch of different shapes, anywhere from circles to hearts so you can pick whatever shape that you want and be able to turn it into a label. So for the one that I made, I just picked a rectangle. And then once you choose the shape, now you have all these different styles. So you can have one that has multicolors, zigzag, feather stitch, leaves, whatever. But just for the sake of keeping it nice and simple and finishing off the edges, I chose this one right here, the satin stitch. Okay, so I just chose the satin stitch. But before we do that, we should maybe have a tack down. So we want to keep these things so that they're the same size. So if I look at, this is just the standard stitch. So if we go ahead and just put that one in the machine, decide what size you want it to be. Okay, so we just need, if you have the newer machines where you can reverse order, it's not a big deal, but we're going to do this so that everybody can do it. You can go ahead and pick your size first. Keep this all in line in my head. So pick your size. So we would want to edit and size our block. So whatever size you want it to be. And I think the one that I have here is, I think I made it, for, okay, and with these little blocks here, you can adjust. You don't have to adjust it just as a square. You can adjust the size however you want to. Okay, so we'll make that a little bit smaller. It will go into my 5x7 hoop. And if you remember the size, 2.56 by 4.13, you might want to write that down. Then you can go ahead and say OK. And you can add. Now this is where you go into your fonts and you pick whatever. I happen to pick number 2. And I know that when I start typing, It's going to give me the largest letter. Depending on how much you want to put in the label is going to determine how many, what size you want it to be. So I made mine smaller because I had lots that I wanted to put in there. And then of course you've got your alphabet, and most of your newer machines now have this little um, return so you can do multi-line text. Some of you, if you have some of the 4x4s and the older ones, you may not have to do that. You may have to do them as separate lines, but that's okay. Let's see, let's just go ahead and we're just going to keep this simple. May 2023. And once you make the size, it's going to be all the May 2023 me. Okay, again, just keeping it nice and simple. So there. Now I have a label, but I want to do a satin stitch around on top. So this is going to be my tack down, so I know where to do my trimming. I'm going to do my embroidery. You can even put little things like flowers and hearts and other stuff inside if you want to. But again, just trying to show you a quick, easy way, show you the steps. Then you can do it however you want. But now I need to add my satin stitch border. So to do that, I can go back in and do add, go back to my same block. This time I'm going to pull the satin stitch and I'm going to set it. And you can see that it's inside. I need to make it bigger so that it covers that outer tack down placement line that I have. So we can do our edit and size and we can change it. So you want to make sure it's going to go over top. And you can always go in and look at it. Now I can see I have a line down there, so it actually needs to be a little bit bigger. So let me go ahead and, yeah, with mine I can see. With yours you may have to play with it or write down the measurements. That'll make it easier for you. Okay, so now it's really ready to go. I'm just going to walk you through the steps. So if you're using, and you hooped only your stabilizer, your water soluble stabilizer, you can do what we, a placement line. Okay, so it'll stitch out that line. That would be the placement line. So I know where to put my piece of fabric. Then you would either need to copy this, copy and paste, or stitch it twice. Okay, because I would stitch that, and then once I stitched it out, it's going to go into the letters. Well, I would really want to put my piece of fabric down and stitch it again. Now you can also take your piece of fabric and put a bigger piece in or hoop the whole thing and actually skip past this part if you want to. But then it's going to go down through and it's going to do all my letters. Okay, so we're going to say we had, now this is where you want to stop because I have to trim my fabric. So if I go ahead and stitch this out, then I'm going to have extra fabric around my satin stitch, and I don't want that. I've got water soluble so that my label underneath will disappear, right? My stabilizer in the back. So if I stop right at this point, take it out of the machine and trim it close to that, that straight stitch line and put it back in the machine, now it's going to do my satin stitch all the way around. And when I'm finished, whoops, then we will have the whole thing stitched out just like this. So it's really quick and easy. Practice it a little bit, maybe stitch one out. It's an easy way to go ahead and make your label. So this one, just to show you, now this isn't water soluble, so this was my first practice while everybody was in class and I figured everything out. So before the next, the next step, before it's ready to do that final satin stitch, this is where I would take the hoop out of the machine. Now don't take your project out of the hoop, but take the hoop out of the machine and trim close to that line. You've got your water soluble underneath, and then it will do the satin stitch. Then, there's another little hint. When you take your hoop out of the machine and you're finished, you don't even have to trim this. If you take a Q-tip in water and draw around that finished edge, okay, we've got this trimmed, we did our satin stitch, draw, just Q-tip, draw around and let it set for a few seconds, it pulls away and you can pop the piece right out of the middle. We did all of that in class on Sunday. We did, when we finished up, we did our labels, and I demoed and showed them how to do that. So there you have it. That's my little class tip hint for today. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Tell you what's coming and what's going on. This afternoon we have color dance. Yesterday afternoon Mike sent out the email Zoom links, so if you don't have them, you better check or make sure that you signed up, because we did find a couple people thought they signed up for Dealer Digital exclusives. They meant to and they forgot. So it's not too late. If you've missed out, it's not too late to do the Dealer Digital exclusives. It's not too late for Love Bugs, which is, whoops, my quilt over there on the wall. We're doing that one Friday. Dealer exclusives on Thursday. Our table runner is the Luck of the Irish table runner this Saturday. And this afternoon is color dance. Monday is Let Me Call You Tweetheart, if you purchase the embellishment and the kits from us. Yeah, Jane, I wasn't going to point you out, girl, but we got you taken care of, and it's okay. It's okay. That's one of the advantages of working with a small shop. We can make the decisions and we can help and make things happen. We also protect you when you over register. How about that? Because we've had a few people that have registered for the same thing twice, and because Mike does the shipping and he watches, he's he catches that and says, hey, did you really want to? And sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes it's no. So anyway, so we're going to be doing Let Me Call You Tweetheart on Monday, and then Cuties, the Cutie table runner for January, is coming up next Saturday. So that's another one that we've set up with subscriptions. And then we have our Bijou Wonder quilt. It is definitely not too late to sign up and want to do the Bijou Wonder. That's this one right here. The first block is it this one? Yes. It's this block right here. And I'll tell you, it's really cool because you're going to take multiple blocks to make the block, so it's a little deceiving when you look at it. If you haven't tried a block of the month, or if you have, this is really going to be a cool one. All that white background is not just white fabric. It's what they call the low-cal, meaning it has white, but it has little tiny designs in it and colors, just like little hearts, little confetti things. Lots of little things in it that really is going to make this one pop. So that's our newest block of the wonder, the only one that we have going on right now. So it's still, you can still pop in and do that as well. And then be looking for some more fun stuff. I've been telling you about, where's my paper? Coming up in March. It's not too soon to sign up for this one. Dream It and Create It. This is using the Embellish Maker software. Whether you have it or not, you're still welcome to participate, because you will get the instructor, the project materials. You get a project material, a USB stick with the designs. So if you don't have Embellish Maker software, you still get the designs. If you do have it, you're going to spend 2 days. You're going to learn lots of ins and outs with it. And you're going to learn chenille, not just where you make a whole chenille bedspread, but a chenille, maybe a penguin with a chenille tummy, or a bear with chenille tummy, the bunny, the chenille ears. I don't know. There's going to be chenille in there. We're going to do piecing in the hoop. You want to learn how to do some of your own piecing instead of having to buy designs that you're limited to? Well, there's an opportunity there. Mylar applique and foil applique. You want to make your designs pop? Yeah, that's some of the stuff that we're going to be doing. And she's amazing. She does a great job. And there's, the event that's 2 whole days with your kit for $99, and you're going to get a surprise bonus box that's worth, $149 or more with R&K stuff in it. So that is one of the big things we've got going on. And in February, we also have, and you can get signed up, whether you do it from Dime's website or ours, either way you can do that. We have, it's in the hoop, because they changed it. It was Sally Tomato, but it's in the hoop embroidery projects. So we've got that going on too. And more stuff to come. So that's all I have for you. What are you working on? I do, just to let you know, my UFO is ready to go on the quilt frame. I just have to pick the day when I can get there and do it. I already know in my head what design's going to be quilted. I have my binding made. The borders are on, and it's ready to hit the long arm. So how are you coming on? Did you pick one project to get started on? You don't have to commit to, I'm going to do 100 this year or 25 this month. Pick them one at a time. We're going to eat this elephant one bite at a time, and we will work our way through whatever projects that we want, to do. You can do other stuff too. That's okay, but one thing that you want to get finished this month. So keep up the good work. I don't know if there's any other comments. If not, I will let you get back to your sewing. And I'm going to head on over to class because we have class at 2 o'clock. We're going to be working on that beautiful block of the month quilt that you see on the wall behind me. Okay, you're finishing the spring hanging. That's okay. It didn't have to be done in one day. This is the project I'm going to do. I got other things going on too, but I'm going to keep working at it to get this project done. And if you want to, share the project with us on the Friends page. And let's see, we have Sunshine, our gnome, is hanging out in Albuquerque. Jane, isn't he with you? I think I saw pictures of Sunshine. And he had to get to bed early because he was going to have a really busy day today. Did you guys see it? Yep, that was you. So Sunshine is with Jane and having a good time. He spent a little extra time in California. Now he's working, or she's working her way back. And anyone who hasn't had Sunshine that's part of it, yep, I did. Okay, we're going to check that Facebook page. We are. And if, let's see. Sunshine, I think I still have a couple of the boxes that had all of those designs in it. And some of you who waited for spring, because spring break came a little bit late last year, well, spring break is back. I have 3 boxes, and the boxes have everything in it. And this is, if you love bunnies, we all love bunnies, this is one of the projects out of the spring break. There were 5 or 6 projects, I think, in there. This was one of them. So if this is something you love, the bunny, and the projects from Embellish, R&K, we have 3 boxes, three of the bags with all the stuff in it, meaning all the stabilizers, all the designs, bonus designs, and videos from R&K, and fabric picked by Sherry. So you have all the fabric, everything you need. There it is in one box and one kit. Okay, so make it a great afternoon. Go sew something. I'm sure Sunshine, let's all head over to the Facebook page, the Friends page, and see what Sunshine is up to today. Tomorrow will be Tech Talk with Mike, so we'll be talking to Mike and see what he's got for you tomorrow.